Coming up on Pork Chops, Rice, and Peaches, creepy legs, bad teeth, and a king dethroned? Welcome back to Pork Chops, Rice, and Peaches. I'm Richard.
And I'm Noah. You almost jumped right into the video.
I did almost, yeah. Well, we do that to each other. It's a thing. We're going to talk about Spirited Away today as we continue our Studio Ghibli retrospective and
journey.
Yeah, it is
adventure.
A journey.
I think I call it adventure.
Adventure.
It's Gen X Dad's One Piece journey. Spider-Man series retrospective. And this is our Ghibli adventure.
Our Ghibli adventure. We're in our Ghibli adventure.
Branding.
Clearly, I don't pay attention to the titles.
Okay, I don't think anyone does.
But Spirited Away.
So, this was kind of a jump in the Ghibli.
Yeah, it was.
If this says anything about what is to come... we're in for a drastic tone shift.
We are
in Ghibli films.
But so this movie was gorgeous.
Oh yes. The animation was amazing.
I would love to see this 4K large screen make those colors pop.
Let's Ghibli Fest. Let's see if it's on Ghibli Fest, and let's go watch this in theaters.
I would love to go watch this in theaters. This was a beautiful movie.
Oh yeah,
and this was a movie where, in the beginning, I don't think I was more than 30 minutes into the movie when I said, I feel like I've taken a hit of LSD.
That's what I said. Thank you. I said this movie is an acid trip. Thank you.
and I also realized I would need 3 or 4 viewings of this movie to fully appreciate the symbolism that's at play in this movie, and to fully pull on the threads of all the different messages and meanings that are embedded in this movie. This is a masterpiece.
I believe. Okay. All
right. This really is.
Okay.
Very well done. Now, some of it, there was some predictability to it.
Okay.
There were a couple moments where I just went, but only 2, actually.
Okay.
2.
I feel like we're gonna have a bit of a divergence on this one, but already. But
well, no, because I think
because literally the thing I said to my wife was, if you had at any point asked me what I thought was coming next, I would never have been able to tell you. I
could tell you one.
I had no idea where this movie was going at any given point.
I agree with that. Well, no,
I mean, aside from hopefully she gets back, hopefully she saves her parents.
Those weren't always a guarantee.
They kind of weren't. That's why I said hopefully. That's why I said hopefully, because the tone this movie had was, welcome to Pork Chops, Rice, and Peaches, where we don't have any structure to our videos.
Did we not even introduce? No, we introduced
No, we did.
ourselves.
I'm just I realized, we're already on a...
Yeah, we just go. Yeah, we totally unscripted.
Boom.
Totally. If you are new to Pork Chops, Rice, and Peaches, these are our kitchen table discussions.
Or if you're new to our non-One Piece stuff, boom, zip.
We just go. We do not review movies. We talk about them, and it is completely unscripted, unplanned.
And here's our studio audience.
And we do sometimes have a live studio
discussing
audience.
what she says is potentially her favorite Ghibli movie.
Oh, I think you said it was your favorite Ghibli movie when I was here last. Yeah, I can see it.
But I was like,
I really do need to rewatch this.
Okay.
So, little inside baseball. I was so tired from teaching Monday night, and I got a horrible night's sleep.
Yeah.
That come Tuesday night, when I sat down to watch this, I fell asleep at about the 50-minute point, not because the movie wasn't interesting.
Just because you were tired.
It's because I was exhausted and I couldn't do it anymore.
Yeah.
And so when your mom looked at me from across the room and said, "Hey, go to bed." It was 9:30 last night, and I went to bed and I didn't move until 6 o'clock this morning. I mean, there was no getting up for anything. So I watched this morning. I had a cup of coffee, and at 6 a.m. it was like, okay, let's go. And that was a wake up. That was.
I believe it. I believe it.
That was a wake up.
Yeah.
Okay. My only predicted moment.
Okay.
All right. The minute the test was mentioned, but I get to test her. I knew what the test was going to be. Identify your parents.
Yeah.
From pigs.
Yeah.
And I knew that her answer would be none of them.
Okay.
And I figured that out when she walked into the pig pen on her own with the food from the river.
The river spirit.
The river spirit gave her that
guardian,
that little green ball of something that tasted nasty, but she saved Haku with it.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. When she went in and she couldn't find her parents, that's when I knew that was what the end of the test was going to be.
Okay.
And that would be the successful end of the test. So that for me was predictable. When I saw her parents diving into the food, I didn't know right away that they would turn into pigs. But then when I saw that view from the back as they were starting to get larger, you could see which way it was going. And pigs are used as villains. I mean, it's like Animal Farm.
I literally said that when she came back and they were pigs. I went, "Oh, that's very Animal Farm of them."
Exactly. And
and they couldn't tell which was which. It was like
exactly.
I just was like, and I picked up on that. I was like, all right, punished human. So any pig in this is going to be someone who came to this spirit world,
right?
And ate their food, which I kind of picked up on that whole thing of like, okay, this is where the spirits go after they've done their job in the human world,
right?
And I almost expected there to be more of an emphasis on the spirit, like the spirits and how they interact with people, or like how people are neglecting that which the spirits inhabit. But they didn't go too far into that. They kind of let the imagery speak for itself.
Yes,
especially when the river spirit shows up and it's very polluted and needs a bath to be cleansed.
Right.
So they kind of let they showed, they didn't tell with that.
Yes, they did.
Which I thought, and what a way to show with. Like you said, I think it's probably some of the best animation we've seen in the Ghibli stuff so far. I mean, the amount of transparent characters that moved seamlessly and interacted with everything was incredible.
I'm going to say something that's going to surprise you.
Okay.
This is really going to surprise you.
Okay.
Because for me, there hasn't been a movie that's topped Totoro.
I was going to ask if where this was.
I think this topped Totoro.
You think this topped Totoro?
I do.
Well, well, finally, because if you've been following the Ghibli movies, you would know that you have been begging for a movie out of that recaptured that what you felt with Totoro, and I don't know if I don't think those are mutually. Yeah, I don't think that's the same thing, but
no, I mean, I don't think the stories are the same, and
no,
anything like that. But and really,
because you really liked Totoro.
So our One Piece followers who have opened my eyes to the artistry of the manga, right, and make me realize that I have to consider that. Oh, more than right. This movie. So Totoro, you watch it for the first time, and I'm exposed to the Studio Ghibli artwork and everything, and I'm just blown away by the panoramic nature of it and how beautiful the animation is.
Oh, and how gentle it is.
Nothing recaptured that feeling as well as this movie. This movie was like re-experiencing the first time.
Wow, okay.
That's how good this movie was, and that's what made me just... I went for the ride. It was like I was just
found it.
Blown along on the wind.
We found the movie that at least matched Totoro in your... Okay, good.
Yeah, yes, it did.
Cool.
Yes, it did. Now, the multi-layered aspect of the writing and the storytelling, the depth of the symbolism in this movie... I never felt at any point in Totoro that I needed to go back and watch it 3 or 4 times to understand it.
You really don't.
In this movie, I regret not seeing this a second time before filming right now, because this movie deserves more attention.
Maybe we'll go back and reanalyze it on multiple things.
You know what?
This series is our first time and first reaction, so I think it's in the spirit of...
Well,
spirit of the series. I wish I could do Woody Woodpecker's laugh.
Yeah, this was pretty magical. And here's another one you won't expect me to say.
Okay.
All right. Okay.
All right. Hit me. You've already hit... Yeah. Okay. Let's go.
I wished I had seen this in a dub in a sub instead of a dub.
Okay,
I wish I had seen the original voice actors.
I can believe that.
Because I think this would have been an entirely different experience.
Okay.
All right. And on that line, this would have been an entirely different experience if I had a better understanding of Japanese culture and storytelling, and probably fairy tales, because there was a point in this where I said... I asked myself, is this based on a fairy tale? Is this a tale that Japanese children grow up with that got turned into a movie?
So, I did a little bit of homework.
Okay.
So, because I had the same thing. I said this movie would slap if I had a knowledge of Japanese mythology.
Mm-hmm.
Because I guarantee you, if you know Japanese folklore and I've scratched the surface.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I've seen a few things. I have a general understanding of what spirits can be.
Okay.
But not enough to speak on it. And I'm not even going to try to speak on it. You know, because
there will be someone to correct us.
The woeful ignorance would be on full display. I'm not even going to humor that thought.
Here, drink from the cup.
So
it would be appropriate.
I know. Yeah, if I were to try. So I know. So I do know that this movie would probably open up even more if you did a deep dive on Japanese mythology and learned about how spirits work in their folklore. And I'm going to like I said before we filmed, I'm going to pull up the 4-act story structure later on in this movie and talk about it.
Okay.
Because we've been meaning to. But the other observation that I had with this along those same lines, it was I don't know enough about Japanese. Oh, it was this isn't based on a book. This is not an adaptation.
Okay.
This is Miyazaki, supposedly an original one that is loosely inspired by a book.
Okay.
I think is what what I read is that he got I think it sounded like he took some ideas from a story he had read, but created his own story.
Gotcha.
So I think the words were loosely inspired. Someone can fill me in if that's incorrect, but that's what I read. So this supposedly a lot of this is kind of original, and yeah, it feels that way because this has the same wacky energy as the Cat Bus
Did he?
Every frame of this movie felt like seeing the cat bus for the first time, because I saw that cat bus and went, "What the actual hell am I watching?"
Oh, your mom saw the soot balls and she went, "Oh, they're back!"
Oh yeah, no, because I knew they came back. I knew they came back. The soot sprites, and I was
they're
like,
just as cute as a button.
Yeah, they're adorable. Yeah,
I love how her shoes just come out of the.
Yeah, they were adorable.
I know.
I was like, this is so cute. But that begs the question: Is this the same universe that Totoro inhabits? That's where my mind goes, because it felt like Totoro was a spirit.
When the baby did the baby get turned into that little?
It was a rat.
Rat thing, or did okay?
Yeah.
So
I thought it was a Totoro too.
You thought it was a Totoro.
I thought it was a Totoro.
The artwork looked a lot like a Totoro.
I looked at it and I went, "Oh, she made him a Totoro."
Yeah, that's exactly what I thought.
And then it was a rat, and I was like, "Oh."
Okay, and the fly carrying him around was just hysterical.
It
never got tired.
No,
that joke just kept playing.
And you know what I always thought? I thought, what a blustery day, or the bee story from Winnie the Pooh.
Yes.
Yep. It sounded almost exactly like the same sound effect. I was like, well, that's nostalgic.
The interesting thing about it's Chihiro is her name? Is that the right pronunciation? Chihiro. Okay. So, interesting thing about her in this movie. She is the only character in the movie flexible enough to go with every situation that she's in and innocently find and identify the right characters to side with and the right course of action to go. She clearly is out of her element. This is a fish out of water story.
Yep.
Right. And
they establish that at the beginning because she's moving away.
Exactly.
They do it in like one line of dialogue. It isn't even spoken. It's on a card. You read it.
And it's set right there. And unlike her parents, and this is something that, so this kind of frustrated me about her parents. Her parents were so oblivious and clueless.
Yeah, that was weird.
Like suddenly lost all of their critical thinking skills. Was like, oh, food smells good, me hungry.
Yeah,
and then sit down.
Almost like you have to be a child to kind of understand the reality of the world type.
Yeah.
Idea.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And especially since, and this ties into one of my questions about the movie. Actually, that's a really good point.
Okay.
You have all of these pigs, and I just assumed, and I think correctly, that all of those pigs were adults turned into pigs.
That's what I thought too.
Right?
Yeah, that's what I thought. That's what I said.
I think that there's an evilness to this world that humans are turned into pigs and then slaughtered and used for food. There's a creepy evil edge to that.
There's a horror subtext that is well woven.
Yes,
well woven.
So you have to have the innocence of the child and the gut instinct to say, no, I don't want any of that, because she follows her instinct.
Yeah.
Right. Mm-hmm. And she follows it all the way through the movie, even while she overcomes challenges, like her trying to go down the flight of stairs that first time. That's a phenomenal sequence. The fear of heights. I thought of you when I saw that. I thought, with no railing on that staircase, that would be you.
Oh, no, 100% it would be.
But then later in the movie, when she has to run across the pipe, you've got the setup with the stairs, you've got the payoff with the pipe, you've got... It was a magnificently put together little character sequence.
You obviously picked up on how this movie was like on its, because I was very confused watching this movie a lot of the time. I very much just kind of went with the flow with this face on.
He did. Okay,
I'm looking at it like, and I think what I said at the beginning, if you had asked me at any point what I thought would happen next, I would get it wrong every time. You could pause it at any moment during that watch and go, what do you think is going to happen next? I would not be able to guess.
Yeah.
Point blank period. Yep. And I think I was very much just like, I think I was just trying to piece it all together, that I was trying too hard to piece it together. That I couldn't pick up on it, but I was just like, that's not saying that it's bad.
No.
I was entertained at the end of the day, but I did not get out of this what you obviously got out of this. I would probably need a couple more viewings.
So there's
So this is the dad's this is dad's episode.
This is I mean I watch these things because I really felt like I was white knuckling this movie. I'm a very concrete operational thinker.
Mm-hmm.
Something's got to be really obvious for me to pick it up.
Okay.
And so symbolism confounds me sometimes because I know it's there, but I'm not processing it. I don't understand it. I need help with it, and I have to digest it slowly over time. I'll get it. Mm-hmm. And then when I get it, I'll just be like, man, that is, it's a thing of beauty.
Yeah.
But it has to be really, things have to be really obvious for me. Just ask your mom about our first date to Disneyland, where she thought she had lost her magic touch on letting guys know she was interested in them because I was just like, I was Captain Clueless.
That's where you get that.
Hey now. Everyone agreed in retrospect that it was good neither of us made a move at that convention.
I wish you could have seen that expression. Oh my goodness.
She's talking about the time she hit me with a Pokeball plush.
No. I'm talking about the times when I offered to give you my phone number and you didn't me up on it. Oh, I'm not going to have cell service, so I can't use GroupMe. Do you want my phone number? Oh, I'll just wait till you get back.
You did inherit my skill! Oh my goodness. I love live studio audience.
I don't know
which.
I don't know who was supposed to be. Anyway.
Well, so.
All right.
So some of the symbolism confounded me. I knew I needed to see this movie several times, and I will go back and watch this again just to try and absorb some of this.
Hold on, was that when you were going to Japan?
Nope.
Okay, then I have no idea.
Well, actually, there were 3 different occasions I tried to give you my phone number.
Okay, sure.
And then you lost your phone.
It blew up. Thank you very much.
It blew up.
So,
welcome to Pork Chops Race.
I'm trying to figure it out.
Where we just go anywhere the conversation takes us. Yeah. So, were we talking about Spirited Away?
Yeah, we were.
Yeah. So,
and symbolism.
And symbolism, and so, there is an entire line of. If you lose your name, you lose your identity.
That I am familiar with.
Right.
I am very familiar with the concept of something's true name, because it's used in a lot of fantasy media. And if I may quickly tangent, because this is on topic, the concept of everything having a true name is used in a lot of different fantasy settings, where if you know something's true name, you have power over it. I think it's used in Norse mythology, Fae, so Celtic, I believe that's what that is. Celtic mythology, where Fae is very important. Right. It's like if you ever meet a Fae creature, you never give it your name. Because then it has control over you.
Yeah, it's central to Ursula Le Guin's Wizard of Earthsea.
Okay, yeah, that would make sense because I think it's based on that.
Yeah, it's.
I know that there's a lot in like the extended Judeo-Christian mythology around demons and angels. Is if you know a demon's true name, you can subjugate it. Stuff like that.
Dr. Kunkel. I used the name of the book. I hate it.
And Tales from Earthsea is a future Ghibli movie.
Yes, you have said that. Yeah, actually, you have mentioned that before. So I picked up on the whole thing. I can't I can't comprehend being in a situation where you would forget your identity and forget your name. There's something about, crossing into that spirit, right, thing.
Making that
right.
bargain.
Yeah. And as we've talked about different, like one of Stephen King's short stories, this idea that you go through this windy dark road, and then when you finally break through into a small town where you can never leave.
Yeah.
And you're trapped, and you forget about the outside world, and you're just, in this. And so that wasn't a new concept.
No,
right?
That's very common. It gets used a lot.
Yeah.
In a lot of different storytelling.
And so then you're
Lion Witch in the Wardrobe.
Right. So the conflict is, the main conflict and the primary challenge is this person going to either retain or regain their memories, and are they going to make it back into their world?
Yeah.
The disappointing part of this movie,
Mm-hmm.
the genuinely for me disappointing part of this movie, is the parents came through unscathed, unchanged, unaffected, without any comprehension of the danger that they were in.
It's the most Western any parents in Ghibli movies have felt.
Thank you, because
that my complaint about Western parents in Ponyo.
Yes. And
they did that in this one.
Yes, and I actually thought of that. I thought of your comments on that as I was watching this movie, because it applied to the parents in this movie. It was it was a waste of voice actor talent. Do you know who the dad was in the English version?
Nope, because I don't know. I don't watch the
you watch
version.
Yeah,
I watch sub.
Yeah, I didn't know where the sub was on this.
So on HBO Max.
Yeah.
On HBO Max, it's really dumb. Just letting you know, because I have this gripe with HBO.
Okay.
Is that on Amazon and Netflix and I think Disney Plus, you can go to a language option and it'll have the dub ready.
Okay.
On HBO, the English dub and the Japanese dub are two separate listings. So you have to look for Spirited Away. You have to type in Spirited Away and then hover over the one that says Japanese audio at the bottom of the picture.
Well,
and use that one.
Because I was watching it with your mom, she wouldn't have watched the sub. But David Ogden Stiers.
Really?
Yes, in the English version.
Oh,
and
yeah, that's a waste.
What a talent!
Wow,
what a masterful talent, and it really, the performance was wasted.
Yeah, that is.
But that's a minor complaint, I guess. All in all, the voice acting, the talent on the American, or I should say the English. There's some names I don't know. And one that I was really surprised that I did know, and I never would have picked out. I never would have picked out Chihiro's father being David Ogden Stiers.
Okay.
All right. Lauren Holly as Lynn, and Suzanne Plachette as Yubaba and Zeniba. Now, you wouldn't know Suzanne Plachette like I know Suzanne Plachette, because she was really very, very prolific in the 70s and the 80s.
Okay.
She was on the Bob Newhart show. The first one.
Okay.
In fact, she was the character that showed up in the final episode of Bob Newhart's second show, where he was the inn owner in Vermont.
Okay.
And the season-ending episode of that was that he sits up in bed, and he's the Bob Newhart from the original show, and it was the original set. And they do the whole dream sequence, and when the light pops on and Suzanne Plachette sits up, the audience loses their mind.
I know the joke because they did that joke with Breaking Bad.
Yeah,
Have you seen the Breaking Bad version of that joke?
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's probably a playoff.
It was a
on,
play. It was
on the other one. It was absolutely hysterical. So when I realized that was Suzanne Plachette, I was like, wow, I never would have guessed that, but she did a fantastic job.
Okay.
But Lauren Holly, you've got this whole sequence in this movie where, hold your breath when you're crossing the bridge. Even the smallest breath, they will recognize that you're human. People complaining that humans stink. You have these adults turning into pigs, but when you get inside the bathhouse, there's a lot of human girls. No human men that I could really... I mean,
they're all frogs.
But not all the girls were frogs.
No,
Lynn wasn't a frog.
No. All the dudes in that
were
scenario
frogs.
were frogs.
Yes.
I don't know what So, again, Japanese mythology or folklore, there has to be some sort of spirit of that take the form of ladies. I'm getting a nod.
Yeah.
Yeah, what are they?
Well, Lynn's a fox spirit.
They're fox spirits?
Lynn was a spirit?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, they're all spirits.
She's not human.
They do.
Yeah.
Yeah, all the I knew that all the ladies weren't human because they partook in the whole.
Okay.
It's a human.
They were drawn.
They were drawn as humans.
Lynn behaves like a human.
Yeah, she looks very human.
But so does Haku, and he's a water
wait.
dragon. He's a dragon.
Yeah, I caught.
Okay, so they're fox spirits. Do fox spirits take on the form of ladies in Japanese mythology?
Yeah, all the time.
Okay, then that's your answer.
They're usually young women.
They're fox spirits. That take the form of. I mean, I know that as like spirits taking the form of humans.
Right.
In Western mythology, you get the gods taking the form of animals a lot of the time.
Yeah.
But I would imagine that in Eastern mythology.
Well, that explains that because I'm like, there's all these chicks in here. Why is it special that Chihiro's in there? That you've got all these. Right.
Yeah. No. That.
So again, this goes back to the beginning when I said that there's so much about. The culture and storytelling.
I did get that. I did pick up on that.
I did not know that.
I was not completely out of this.
Yeah, the ugly ones are slugs.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh. So why did the frogs have the push broom mustaches? Because while that was a style pre World War II, ever since Adolf Hitler, like nobody wears the little push broom mustache anymore. And then they had it, and it was like,
I think that
bold choice and kind of odd, but
yeah, I don't know. I don't think that side of the world reacted to the cultural shift that World War II caused the same way the Western world did.
Well, there's an interesting concept that's worth considering.
You got to think the way World War II shaped Japan. Because this is a whole discussion. This is a whole massive discussion.
Which we won't have here today.
Not today, but it was World War II was almost two separate wars being fought in two separate halves of the world. If you really think about it.
Yeah.
It
was.
So the cultural impact on that it had.
We never really look at the cultural impact on the East as much as we look at it on the West.
Not from the American lens, no. So I would imagine that there's. Well,
that'd be some interesting historical reading to do.
The swastika, not the actual Nazi swastika, but the Buddhist symbol showing up on Ace's back in the original manga before they changed it to a skull and crossbones.
Yes.
It's because it's a sign of peace. I mean, that's just... Right. That's just... Oh, yeah, this is just a symbol that exists in our culture because it's a symbol of peace in our religion.
I've got Mr. Golan, his father-in-law actually has a postcard.
From India?
From the United States from 1910 that had the swastika on it that was printed in Illinois and mailed to someone.
But was it
in his
using
family.
the Indian Buddhist?
Yeah, it was using the Indian Buddhist thing. So, even within the United States, that was a symbol that had an entirely different meaning.
But, again, we, intervened in Europe, and we're so closely tied to Europe as a culture.
Right.
That would affect us. That seeing it used in that manner or seeing that version of that symbol becomes taboo in our culture because it's linked. And even though we were involved in the East in World War II, the East wasn't involved in the European side of the conflict, so it wouldn't affect them.
And it's almost an entirely different subject.
Exactly.
Wow.
So,
yeah.
Spirited Away is bringing out all the concepts in discussions. This is
it's interesting that good storytelling and good movie making will do that, and
exposing you to different.
That's
an entirely different culture of storytelling.
The beautiful aspect of the anime that I've been exposed to here later in life and in the Ghibli movies, because primarily I have been reading and teaching Western literature since the early 90s.
Yeah.
But now I'm open up to this whole another world.
Oh yeah.
So now is the time. Pull it out because
yeah.
this is the time
while
to
we
bring
get
it up.
going on, because we've been told all about the 4-act Japanese structure, and I did a precursory glance at it, and I'm going to be going off just a Wikipedia summary.
Sure, yeah, that's okay.
Of it.
That's fine.
But what I read was kind of interesting, and I think it was brought up in the original comment, is that it doesn't call for conflict.
Yes, I do remember that. I remember reading that. Yes.
And the Wikipedia article specifically calls out the two different. It calls out the hero's journey as a writing structure, and then the story.
Okay.
The rising action, climax, falling action as two separate story structures that can be intertwined. That's how the Wikipedia article was talking about it. Let me specifically, the article said while it can have conflicts, this, and I'm not even going to try to pronounce it right now. I'll wait till I get it up there.
It's not conflict driven.
It's not conflict driven. It can have conflict.
Right.
And it can have conflicts like Western stories, but it doesn't necessarily have to.
Well,
i.e. Totoro.
Well, I was about to say that was the whole thing that was stumping me when I watched Totoro, was I couldn't understand where the movie was going. And I was enjoying the ride nonetheless. And
it's also not exclusively Japanese.
Right.
It is I'm going to butcher this, but Kisho Tenketsu. Kisho Tenketsu.
Kisho
Tenketsu.
Okay.
I hope I got that right. Is a 4-part structure of many classic Chinese, Korean, Japanese, and Vietnamese narratives.
Okay.
So the parts can be summarized as introduction, development, twist or reversal, and resolution.
Introduction, development, twist or reversal,
and resolution.
Okay, I get that. So, I can follow that.
In Japanese specifically, I guess there's kiku, which is the key. That's the introduction. It can mean rouse, wake up, get up.
Okay.
And there's a beautiful graph here that I'll splash up, and I'm hoping that this is accurate. It's a wave, that it's almost the rising action, climax, falling action.
Yes, it is,
but it's a wave graph. So there's multiple rise and dips in the story, if you look at it.
Yes.
So you've got the introduction, which doesn't even take up 25% of the movie or the story.
Right.
And then you get the development, which looks like it takes up about half of it.
Pretty close.
The development where it can also mean acquiesce, hear, listen to, be informed, receive.
Okay.
So would that be, I would imagine, if I were to try to do this to Spirited Away on a pre-cursory after this.
Yeah.
You get Tenku, which is the twist, which can mean resolve, turn around, change.
Right.
And then there's the conclusion, or Keku, though it can also mean result, consequence, outcome, effect, coming to fruition, bearing fruit, etc. So you get an introduction to the characters, the era, and other information required to understand the plot. The development follows the leads through the twist in the story. No major changes so far. The twist, the story turns towards an unexpected development. This is the crux of the story.
That's the sister. That's the sister. That is yes.
If the narrative takes several turns, this is the biggest one because this wave allows for multiple twists.
Right.
And then the conclusion, which is again
that's like just a narrow portion of it.
Exactly.
Because it does wrap up quickly.
You get the introduction where you learn that they're going to a new. And again, I'm going to probably butcher this, but I'm going to give it an attempt because why the hell not? We're learning this. This is applied study. This is like a school assignment with Ghibli movies. So if I had to try, I would imagine that the car ride into the discovery of the spirit world would be your introduction.
Yes.
Because it sets the stage.
Yes.
We kind of get that in Western.
Right.
Introduction to the... the development would be I would assume her learning all about the spirit world, everything up
Yes.
to everything up to Haku coming back,
Right.
because that's around the time you get introduced to, and then you have multiple twists in
Right.
there.
Yes, you do.
That kind of flip it. But I would agree with you up to the point where they meet the sister.
So the cool thing about this movie and about this entire story is that as an audience member, you don't know who she should trust.
Yes.
But she knows who she should trust because she follows her instinct in
fully taking advantage of the multiple twist structures. It's
yes.
like, I'm going to trust you, now I'm going to trust you, and now
Yes.
I'm going to trust you. And she doesn't really turn her back on people. It's just that she moves on from them. You know, she can still trust Lisa. Lin-san, I think. Lin-san? Is that how she says it in Japanese? Because I kept hearing Lisa.
Okay.
I kept hearing Lisa.
Gotcha.
For some reason. I think she was saying Lin-san.
Okay.
Or, no, that would be male, wouldn't it?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I think there was a suffix. It was an honorary suffix.
Yeah,
Japanese
in English it was just Lin.
Okay, so Lin, my bad. Lin was, helped her out through...
Yes.
But yeah,
and cared about her.
Yes.
That's the other thing.
Yeah.
She was pretty mean to her at first, but then she ultimately started to care for her. All of the spirits. Now, okay, Octo Grandpa.
He's a spider.
Is he an actual spider?
Yeah, he's a spider. Yokai.
Spider spirit? Spider yokai?
Spirit?
Yeah.
Okay.
Spider yokai?
Well, that jumps, that actually answered the question before I asked it. I'm looking, because I go in and you see this human face and you see this big bushy mustache and a countenance that you think is going to be the grumpy old guy who has a heart of gold. And he's kind of like that.
Kind of like that.
You can kind
a
of
little rougher
predict
around
that.
the edge,
a little bit. Like, I wouldn't have been surprised if he pulled a bottle out and took a sip in the middle of all that. I mean, that was the type of character
I don't think
he
that
was.
kettle was water.
So, but suddenly you realize he's got... And here's why I didn't think spider. He had very human shoulders. It was almost like human shoulder with head on top.
Yeah.
Which is why I didn't really go with spider or spider spirit.
Mm.
But then Lynn walks in and he says, "That's my granddaughter." And I'm looking at the two of them and I'm like, huh?
Was he talking about Lin or was he talking about Chihiro? I thought he was
made up something about Chihiro.
I thought he was talking about Chihiro. I thought he was covering for Chihiro.
Was that what that was?
Lin. I think that's what it was.
Oh, okay.
I think he was telling Lin,
like,
"This is my granddaughter."
I was
to not.
Yeah, he's just throwing shit out there.
Okay.
I think he was just trying to cover for
that
her.
That makes more sense. One of the predictable things in the movie, truly, Haku surviving and Haku coming back and helping at the end. There was no doubt about that.
Yeah.
For some reason,
well, he looked too much like Howl.
He did. Well, he did look a little like how the haircut. Oof.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my god, you could have given him something better than that. But Hal had a better haircut.
Yeah.
Hal had good hair. Haku did not. But when it was suggested that he's not trustworthy because he was an agent of Yubaba.
Mm-hmm.
I never once took him as a threat.
No.
There was no point in the movie where Haku...
No.
And they tried to present him as... They tried to plant the seed of doubt in Haku.
No, and maybe it's because we just watched Howl's Moving Castle, but
Right.
it was a very similar character trajectory.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, we have a mysterious boy that saves the lead girl, and it turns into a animal of some kind that gets these absolute kicked out of him.
Right.
At a later point in the movie.
Right.
And then, the girl saves him. The thing I was trying to figure it out, and I kind of kicked myself in the ass for not figuring this one out.
Okay.
I didn't realize that he was a river spirit until she brought it up. Because again, they don't plant any seeds for that reveal.
Well,
except for you see her when she holds on to him at one point, that
right.
you see the underwater, her
yes,
underwater,
yes.
and then him.
Yes.
It's like you don't really get that unless you connect the dot between the river spirit that gets cleaned and the fact that he's a dragon.
Okay.
And I should have put that together. That he was going to be a river spirit, because dragons in Eastern mythology are very different from dragons in Western mythology.
No, yes, they are.
Very closely tied to rivers.
I just read a children's book about that.
About the trout that...
About the difference between Western and Eastern dragons. But here again, this goes all the way back to my comments in the beginning. If we had a better understanding of the culture...
Yes.
I would imagine there are a lot of Japanese literature teachers looking at that movie going, oh, it's this.
Yeah, no, 100%.
As easily as I will pick apart a Western movie,
yeah,
they had to be able to pick apart this one. I think hamstrung by the lack of knowledge on that, but at the same time, oh my goodness, what a delightful, new, refreshing, fun ride.
Yeah.
You know.
No, and I saw the look that she was giving me, so I'm going to clarify something real quick. They didn't plant the seed of her being rescued by him in the past. Like, it wasn't obvious. Because they made one reference that Haku said at the beginning. He was like...
He said, I remember you.
I remember you. You
yes.
told me long ago. And that was my thing. I was like, okay, is she going to send a message back in time, or is she going to meet a younger version of him? Like Howl's Moving Castle. And it's like, and then they don't touch upon it for the rest of the movie until like the very end, and you see a couple flashbacks. There's nothing to indicate that she had, had this experience. And the reason that I'm okay with that, and ultimately the point I was trying to get at, I'm more addressing her than anything else at this point, is that it wasn't like, I would, if this was a Western movie, I would have expected clues to be planted. But it goes along with you going, we don't know who to trust, but she knows who to trust. We don't know why they know each other, but she'll figure it out, and then we'll figure it out. Because it's like, we discovered it because we were lacking information. It was a reveal to the audience, not, and it was kind of a reveal to her, but...
I never once in the movie, from the moment he said, I remember you, I never once forgot that would be answered. It was a question hanging over the entire story. And there's some things like when we were talking about The Amazing Spider-Man 2, we talked about how you saw the graduation speech that Gwen Stacy gave, and then by the time you got to Peter watching it at the end of the movie, you had forgotten about it.
Yeah.
I was waiting for the entire movie to find out the answer to that question.
I think a lot of it, you were waiting to figure it out, but ultimately I was so taken aback by the weirdness of all the spirits that I was just kind of like, there's so much else to focus on and figure out what is important, because they have this whole subplot with No Face. And let me just say,
oh yeah,
why the does that thing have legs?
Okay.
That was terrifying.
I thought he grew legs when he ate the frog.
I think he had legs before he ate the frog.
Did he?
Yeah.
I didn't notice him.
Yeah.
He had legs. He stepped into the bathhouse when she left the door open, which I guess was her inviting him in. I would imagine. Knowledge of spirits. My brief knowledge of how spirits work, like vampires, like you kind of have to invite them in.
You have to invite them in, yeah.
You have to invite them in, like Faye. So I imagine there's something similar there. But yeah, he stepped up, and then I was like, why does it have a leg? Why does it have, like, a normal-ish leg? I would have preferred if he hadn't grown legs until he ate the frog. Because that was creepy.
I sat at one point in this movie wondering...
Why is that a Ghibli mascot?
If I had shown you this movie when you were a kid, would this have been the thing of nightmares?
Age 4? Yes. At age 7 or 8, I would have gotten over it.
Okay.
But like the young, this is like, I would say, depending on your kid, 6, 7, or 8 to show them this one. Because No Face was kind of terrifying.
No Face was kind of terrifying, but it
why is it? You can buy plushies of this thing. Oh, yes. Here, Timmy. Look what Dad got you for Christmas. Look, it's got an unzippable mouth with a horrifying British dental structure right here. If you pull out the tongue, it's textured too. Why is this a mascot? Why? You know that there is some college girl who has that plushie and cuddles it every night, and my question is, who hurt you? Who hurt you?
Oh my goodness. Wow.
If that is you, please know that it is a joke. Half a joke.
I don't even know where
Totoro exists. Cuddle that instead.
When
Okay.
when we first saw, oh man, does my gut hurt? When we first saw No Face, I didn't see him as the threat that he became. And now No Face was a genuine twist because I thought he was going to be some sort of a spirit that was trying to help her, and she'd finally realize that, and she'd take him up on his help, and he would be the key to the resolution of the story.
In a Western movie, he would have.
That's exactly what it would have been, and that's
Yeah.
why I was expecting it. So when I saw the direction that No Face went, I was like, ooh.
This is just kind of a side plot.
Yeah.
Kind of a side plot.
He's a bit of a malicious entity. Just a bit.
Yeah,
but actually what he's doing is he's exploiting people's greed.
Yeah.
He's exploiting people's...
They don't really explain what he is. He looks like... Are they called umibozos? There's shadow sea creatures that exist in Japanese folklore. I don't know. I don't know what No Face is supposed to be, but the witch says that's a no face. A no face.
Mm-hmm.
Not
Yeah,
that's
I caught that.
the no face.
Yeah,
That's
I caught that.
a no face. So
Yeah.
I have questions. Is this a spirit that doesn't have an identity? Is this?
Yeah.
Oh. Okay, I figured it out. I'm so smart. It's a spirit without. Okay, it's a spirit without an identity.
So
okay, that makes sense.
you know-
Actually, that explains that character's entire motivation now. Okay,
I think...
I think I understand No Face now.
those characters like that exist in Zelda, not Skyward Sword, Zelda Twilight Princess, in Gerudo in the Arbiter's Grounds, and that is a disturbing section of that game.
You're talking about
The no face type ghosts. I think
Are you talking about the four-armed beasts that you fight everywhere?
No. I just think, but the I've seen creatures like that before.
Oh, the pose.
No, not the pose. Not the pose. I'm gonna have to go back. I'm gonna have to go back and take a look.
We'll look it up.
Yeah.
But because I'll need a photo of it to splash on screen to figure out what the hell we're talking
Well,
about.
I might be totally wrong in
I
my
also had
memory
a
on
Zelda
this one.
thought in this movie.
Oh yeah,
as
what was
well.
that? What was it?
But give me a second. Princess Arbiter's Ground enemies. We are going to look this up real quick. Go to the enemies. There's a big Poe. There's a blade trap. There's a bubble. There's a fire bow.
Yeah, I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing.
Unless you're looking at Death Sword. Anyway, we will figure this out after the fact.
Yeah, sure.
But the you know what I thought was actually from Ocarina of Time, and it's the Twin Witches boss fight.
Oh,
is immediately what I thought of when Zenaba, is that?
Zenaba, yeah.
Zenaba?
Yeah.
I can't remember the other one's name, but Zenaba.
Yubaba is the bad sister.
And Zenaba
is the good sister. Is everybody's favorite grandmother.
Yeah.
Yeah. She turns out to be pretty sweet.
She turns out to be pretty sweet. That's what I thought of immediately was the twin witches from Ocarina of Time. Well, and the facial structure, the big nose, the big head, and I immediately thought of the twins from Ocarina of Time.
Well, I really like the observation that Zenaba made that they look alike, but they're opposite personalities.
Mm-hmm.
And to get to her house, you've got this train running on water. Now, here's my second exposure to the concept of a train running on water and tracks right below the surface. And I was like, is this a thing in Japanese storytelling? And did somebody actually try to do this? Today I asked the question, to myself, have they tried this? Has anybody tried to do this?
Yeah, although the lantern. I saw the lantern walk up and I was like, what the fuck? What is this?
Well, so
I was just like, what? Right when I thought the movie was going to chill for a second and stop with the crazy shit, and then that thing just comes hopping up.
That was a very Disney-esque thing to do.
It was a very Disney-esque thing.
It was benign. It had the foot. It was hopping.
I was the foot. I was like, what the fuck is this?
The body was so human-like in its movement. You know what surprised me on that? That it popped up to the archway and hung there.
I'm watching the movie and I'm just like, okay, we're heading off to the witch's house. It's in the swamp. That's a classic.
Were you expecting more danger going through the swamp?
No, I didn't know what to expect. But it was it was like we got a break for a second. I was like, we had a moment to break. Let me catch my breath because all the craziness has calmed down. And I'm like, okay, cool. Now give me this time to think about it. And then the movie just went, no.
Yeah.
just in case. And it's not a gripe. I'm mostly just like, what the fuck?
Well, we both just watched this in the last 24 hours, and I think that there's been absolutely no time to process any of this.
There's so much to process in this movie.
Yes.
This is going to be...
This is one to go back.
This is one that we're going to have to go back to. It's a good movie. I can't really... I'm having a hard... I knew it from the moment that I had a hard time
what was the
analyzing this movie.
What was the movie... what was the Ghibli movie where you talked about the something was a symbol for growing up. In this movie, it was crossing the bridge. It was the symbol for growing up, for gaining independence. It was
Kiki's?
Kiki's delivery service.
Yeah. No, you were talking about, I think, it was something, no, it was about her cat.
The cat, yes.
The cat.
The cat losing the ability to...
Gigi.
Losing the ability to talk.
Yeah. Is a symbol, is her growing up. Yeah. No.
And so the bridge crossing the bridge and growing up and maturing. So total and complete rabbit trail moment here.
Go for it.
Hi. How are you?
He's got spit up dripping down his chin.
Yeah, he's got a little bit. He looks like
he looks like he spit up all over his hoodie.
Food coma there. So the parents walk out. The passage of time in real life was a question that was always running for me.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So they all live happily ever after. They go out the door, and the dad immediately notices everything's kind of overgrown, and he's like, "There's all this dust in the car."
Yeah.
How long were they there?
Yeah.
And then the mother says, "I hope we don't miss the movers." And I'm wondering if there's somebody else in their house already because they've been gone so long that. Right. And how the heck did he get that car turned around in that narrow passageway to drive out?
That car was not four-wheel drive. I don't know what he was saying at the beginning of that film.
Yeah, he's acting like a very Western dad.
Down there, it'd be really surprising if he didn't just back it all the way out.
Well,
so fun fact about this movie, I discovered.
Yes.
Because Malia asked, my wife asked,
That's WAF, WAF.
my wife. Well, she had an observation after we got it. She was like, I swear I thought the ending was longer. So I looked up if this movie had an alternate cut. This movie is the subject of a Mandela effect. So, are you familiar with the Mandela effect?
Not that I could talk about. I've heard of it before.
Okay. So, the Mandela effect, and I'm just going to pull it up because it's one of those things, like, you ever had those things where someone asks you to clarify something, and it's like, I know what this word means, but I can't put it into words?
My dentist in the chair quizzing me on hydroxyapatite. We were talking about it. He's like, okay, tell me what you understand. And I wasn't prepared for the quiz. And I just looked at him. I went, really? Of course, I had instruments in my mouth. So it's like, yeah. It was. I love my dentist.
So, the Mandela effect is the phenomenon where large groups of people collectively share the same false memory of an event, detail, or pop culture item. Such as misremembering the way the Looney Tunes is spelled, and it's named after Nelson Mandela dying in prison in the 1980s. So.
He didn't die in prison in the 1980s.
No, but a lot of people collectively remember him dying in prison in the 1980s.
He went into prison in the 1980s.
A lot of people remember news reports of him dying and swear, and more than just like, this is like a collective consciousness, like large groups of the population completely independent of each other. Another common one
was there a psyop going on?
Maybe, but it's like, the Fruit of the Looms logo.
Right.
Does it have a cornucopia?
Oh, that's a good question.
Because
I don't know.
Yes, but the company swears it never did and doesn't have any record. The company swears that they never had a cornucopia, and the modern logo doesn't have a cornucopia, and people are like, but it did have a cornucopia on the logo. It's an underwear brand for those of you who aren't familiar with it.
Yeah, but I mean, wow, I haven't looked at a Fruit of the Loom logo.
No,
but I remember having this conversation with someone decades ago.
No, so it's called the Mandela effect, where large population have a specific memory, and then information, one way or another, it's true or not. The conspiratorial believe that it's when two timelines merge, where it's like, oh, in this parallel universe, Mandela did die in the 1980s, and then something collided with our timeline. That's a fun. It's a fun thought. But I have people.
The man in the high castle.
I have heard people have heard people who believe that it is because we steered into the bad timeline in 2016 when we killed Harambe. Don't worry about it. That's my generation's joke. But no. So this movie has a Mandela effect surrounding it. Because in the Japanese audience as well, but Miyazaki swears that the movie ends the way it does as we saw it.
Okay.
They get in the car and they drive away and then it ends, right?
Right.
Apparently people in Japan said that they saw in theaters a cut where they arrive at the house and she looks up and she sees Haku as the dragon. And
I wouldn't expect that as a plausible ending to that movie.
There's people, if you look it up on Reddit, there's discussions about it.
I knew the name, but I couldn't remember why.
There's discussions of this on forums. I saw a few discussions on Reddit, and I saw a few people discussing this on different websites, that they remember a cut of the movie where she's driving in the backseat of the car, like at the beginning of the movie, and she looks out the window, and you don't see it, but she says, Haku? And then it ends. People swear that there's different cuts of this movie out there, but they can't remember. And I think what it is that people saw a behind-the-scenes documentary where there was a scene of them unloading in the storyboard, but Miyazaki swears that never existed.
Never filmed
so it's a Mandela effect.
Gotcha.
It's a Mandela effect. Oh, we put him in the Totoro outfit.
Oh.
Your hand's blocking it.
No, that's okay. That's okay. Kid, you are adorable. You are beyond adorable.
Hey, buddy.
Like, I dearly, deeply love my children, but I'm sitting on the couch this afternoon with him in my lap thinking, I just adore this kid. There's something about grandparenthood that it's entirely different. It is so cool.
And he's standing on the table.
He is. Look at him.
Look at
Hi.
him.
Hi. Look
And
at that
there's a smile.
So you've been interrupted by Studio Dogs, Studio Wives,
And now Balbun.
and now Studio Balbun.
We are filmed in front of a live studio audience.
We are.
So there's a Mandela effect surrounding this movie, so I'm curious, do you remember the movie having a longer ending? If you do, let us know in the comments below.
That's great.
I would love to see how many more. Are you
So this
like
is
my wife?
This is the first Ghibli movie where I watched it and said I have got to go back and watch this again just to understand it better.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to go back and watch Totoro again to go for the flow, just go for the ride.
Well,
it's just so peaceful.
It's been suggested that we go. The Ghibli Fest happens across the country. It's been suggested that we go, so maybe we spend whenever that comes through.
I would love
go to the nearest theater.
I
And
would
spend a weekend.
I would love to. Yep.
Do it. Watching some Ghibli movies at a movie theater.
I can do that.
Veg out for a weekend.
How much popcorn can I eat in one weekend?
I need to go to some. But we got a brand new. For other things.
We have stuff in the works.
So we have a camera now that would allow us to document the process. And it looks like there will be Ponyo, My Neighbor Totoro, Tales from Earthsea, Only Yesterday, Castle in the Sky, which is coming up soon, Princess Mononoke, which I have heard is really good.
So my friend Macy talked about Princess Mononoke today, and she said she watches it when she wants to sob hard. She said it's really a tearjerker.
I'm excited.
Which is why we haven't seen it yet, because it must be high up on the...
Looks like this is all in September, so it looks like, or September and October.
Okay.
Oh, is it monthly? And then Spirited Away is on here. So.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I'd love to see Spirited Away.
Oh, they start in June. It's Ponyo in June.
Okay.
Totoro in July.
Nice.
Earthsea in August.
Skip it. No. I'm kidding.
Only Yesterday, also in August.
All right.
Castle in the Sky in August.
All
August might be good.
Join us on the Ghibli Movie Studio tour. That'd be great.
So we might be hitting up the movie theaters in over the summer to go watch these.
Yeah, I'm just gonna sit and play with the grandkid now.
I thought this was like a weekend thing, like event.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
Oh, this is like once a month. Oh yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay,
we can
do
that.
So Spirited Away. Hi. How are you? Here, I'm going to sit you down right here. Hey, bud.
You can't see it, but it is a Totoro. There's a Totoro on the front of this.
There is a Totoro on the front.
Hey, buddy. How you doing? Dad's going to have to blur part of this, isn't he?
Nah, we're just not.
Maybe.
He's looking at spam. Wait till we introduce you to spam.
But wait till we introduce you to Ghibli movies. Probably in a similar order to where we're watching it now.
Probably.
So,
right.
But...
You got anything else?
I got nothing else. This was a good movie. I liked it. I liked a turn into more mature territory, but my big question on this was, this movie is so wild, and the animation is so beautiful, and the imagination on full display with the folklore. Because I'm sure that there's some interpretation going on with the folklore. Sure. You know, running a bathhouse. That my big question was, is Dad gonna love this, or is he going to hate this?
Really?
That was my big question. Was I was watching this movie and I was like, Dad is either going to love or hate this movie, And I was like, okay, I will wait to see what it's going to be.
Okay, that's fair. It's a fair question.
There's a few movies where, or a few things that we've done on this channel where I'm like, Dad is either going to love this or he is going to hate this.
Right.
And I'm pretty spot on with my doing that, because you're never one way, you're never middle of the road when I say that about a movie. You're never middle of the road.
Gotcha. So I will say this. I think this movie opens up my regret of not understanding the culture better so that I can appreciate the art better. And so that's like just a disappointment, not in the movie, in the circumstances of watching it.
Yeah.
However, the animation is gorgeous.
Amazing.
And of everything we've watched Ghibli, this is the first one to top Totoro, and that is saying a lot.
That's saying a lot.
I love
because
Totoro
topped everything suffered in comparison because
everything up to this point suffered, and I didn't realize it till we started talking about it. Yeah. Like when I made that comment to you, I was just realizing it.
Yeah,
that's where it's at. So, it was wonderful. Yeah, it was wonderful. Really?
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to find a college somewhere that teaches a class in Eastern storytelling. You think so too?
Mm. What were your thoughts on Spirited Away? You were in the room for it.
He was asleep for
a lot of it. Yeah, I know.
Hey, in fairness, I fell asleep through it last night too. Uh-oh. We're about to fuss. Say bye, everybody. Whoosh. Woo! There's Mama.
He stuck a landing. Spirited Away. Where does it rank for you guys in your how yeah, you know where I'm getting at.
Yeah. And so far,
is this one of your favorites? Yeah. I can see why it would be a lot of people's favorites. Yeah, and I can see why it would be a lot of people's favorites, especially if they've watched it multiple times.
Yes,
I can totally see that. So we're going to rewatch it,
and
apparently September on the big screen.
Yes, we will.
So, yeah, this
is a good one.
One of my comments, where was it? This gave me Roald Dahl vibes.
Oh,
a little bit.
Well, that's an interesting observation.
And I think honestly that that was one of the things that I noticed. I actually did want to talk about was that the Roald Dahl as an author I grew up reading.
Yes.
And I think why, and I realized it when I was thinking about it. I liked Roald Dahl's works. And I always get them confused. Which one's sadist and which one's masochist? Which one likes...
Masochist, like, being her.
Okay. The masochist side, that little masochist energy that people have for the weird thing that they do that they shouldn't, was as a kid when I was reading Roald Dahl books. There were the books like The Witches,
right,
and The Twits,
right,
and Wonka's Great Glass Elevator that had like the really creepy Quentin Blake drawings.
Okay,
that were just like, this is it's kind of like mentally scarring as a kid when you read it. And then he has the stuff that's really creepy and very edgy and really dark for a kid's story, because he took the approach of, if it has a happy ending, it's fine to terrorize the children. This is why I am the way I am. But I always loved George's Marvelous Medicine, and I think my favorite of all time was the Giraffe the Pelly in Me, which was like that thick of a book. It's like really a short story, if anything. It's tiny. But that one's like whimsy. It's like, if you read Charlie and the Chocolate Factory and there's like so much whimsy in the first half of it, that's the Giraffe the Pelly in Me through the whole thing.
Okay.
That's a wonderful story if you've never read it. It's wonderful little, you'll read it in 15 minutes, but it's wonderful. It's just an imaginative romp. And so I realized Spirited Away gives me Witches vibes. It feels like reading The Witches.
Oh, gotcha.
It feels like reading his darker work.
Right.
Whereas, and this, I realized why I like Kiki's so much. Kiki's feels like the Giraffe, the Pelly, and Me, because you're just kind of discovering the magic, and there's low stakes, and there's just kind of this That
explains it. I've never understood why you liked Kiki so much.
It harkened back to the whimsical Roald Dahl.
Okay.
Because when Roald Dahl didn't feel the need to scar children for life, he had a wonderful imagination.
You know, I read my first Roald Dahl just recently. I read James and the Giant Peach.
Yeah.
And I absolutely loved the playful whimsy of the beginning of the story. But once they're airborne in the peach, that story drags. Yeah. I mean, it seriously drags. And it doesn't regain the wonderful whimsy until the end when they're in New York City. And what I really enjoyed was the poetry. I really enjoyed James's, introduction of the individuals. He was gifted with words.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So, but that's what I realized that's
gotcha.
I pieced that together when I made the observation that this feels like Japanese Roald Dahl, and I was like, okay, trying not to be derivative with it. It was a vibe.
Sure.
So,
cool.
But I liked it.
So did I.
You really liked it.
I really liked it.
I liked it. You really liked it.
This one bumped up to the top of the list for me, and I didn't think anything would do that. I was
like, we were worried we were going to go on a generational run of disappointment. I was like, damn.
I thought in the years we've been doing this that we're beyond that, because once in a while I do.
I was worried. We're like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I mean, we were on like a 5-movie streak where you were like, and Top Totoro, and it felt like every video it was getting more and more disappointing.
It was. It was very disappointing, actually.
We still haven't Top Totoro.
Right, it was very disappointing. You're 100% correct.
So, I think, next is Castle in the Sky.
Castle in the Sky,
Castle in the Sky is next. We had a 1-movie break from Castles. Because our last one was Howl's Moving Castle, and now we're going to see another one. So, Castle in the Sky is next on the list for you following along at home. So if you haven't watched it yet, if you're following, because I know some of you are, that's next.
All right.
Thank you for tuning in to this week's episode of Pork Chops, Rice, and Peaches.
See you next time.
Bye.